It seems that all participants are connected, so let's start. Hello, our dear listeners, and welcome to the webinar dedicated QA team with really screw-up testing, hosted by QATestLab. Thanks for joining us today. QATestLab continues a series of 5 webinars dedicated to QA and testing. We're talking about specifics of software testing, QA team management, test approaches, and tools. We're analyzing tricky cases on real projects. Besides, we will tell at what stage of software development testing should be implemented and how to select a proper provider of QA services to build long-term business relations. We will try to prepare the most helpful and interesting topics for you to understand nuances of software testing and avoid any pitfalls. If you have any suggestions about the webinar topic, please write to marketing@QATestLab.com. Before we start today's webinar, let me please briefly explain how to use the GoToWebinar software. On the right side of the screen, you will see the control panel. Feel free to ask questions to organizers during a webinar using the chat or questions pane in the control panel. We are recording this webinar, and a link to the record will be provided by email within a couple of days after the webinar. Today I will be a speaker. My name is Dana Zestrin, and I'm a program manager of web program in QATestLab. By using the services of independent testing providers, customers expect to get an effective verification of software as the provider have the equipment and means required for complex testing, high skills, and the expertise to ensure proper quality. Can you imagine that one universal QA team provides the proper testing of Magento eShops, voice technologies, PC games, VR applications? I'm not sure. Following the approach of business omnitude, companies face the low competence and high expenses in a number of different spheres, thus market failure. How to avoid this? The answer is a dedicated QA team that is specialized in testing of software for certain industry and of a particular type. The dedicated QA team model, where external specialists become a part of the in-house staff, is a popular and effective structure for product testing, and this is the focus of this webinar. So the dedicated team model is appropriate for clients who are aware of the complexity of own project development and those who are ready to invest in quality of the product. The main characteristics of this type of project are the projects where requirements and goals are not clearly defined and may have significant changes in the development process. The high project scalability. With dedicated team model, the client can extend the team if it becomes necessary. No opportunity to manage and train in-house QA team. If, for example, QA team should have various skills and expertise, but client cannot manage them directly. Minimization of QA costs. When companies plan to cut expenses by means of using dedicated testers. Long-term projects. The scope of projects should be sufficient so that all of the team members can work full-time for several months. And the last one is the removal of risks connected with maintaining of QA department. From the client's perspective, outsourcing testing brings a number of advantages, such as no need to create your own QA department, spend time and money in hiring new members, and then educate and train them. Also, utility costs and expenses on a work environment do not grow as could be with growing of the in-house team. Comparing to time and material model, collaboration between QA vendor and customer finishes after product release. This may cause unpredictable effects, such as new bugs are left uncovered, New changes in code brings new bugs. The original testers are assigned to other projects, so the acquired knowledge about the project is no longer available. Those situations underscore the value of a strong team's ongoing and cumulative project knowledge. New teams with new members take significant time getting up to speed on the original project. The most effective solution, therefore, is to hire a dedicated testing team, so the product, and then keep them engaged throughout the product's life cycle. Later, during maintenance, the team can be reduced to 1 or 2 professionals, able to maintain and update the original test documentation and keep the same level of the quality. If an additional full regression testing is needed, then the team can be collected again, and the testers who have been constantly working on the project can share their project-specific knowledge with the newly activated team members. Let's look at the advantages of the dedicated QA team. The first one is customers' full control of QA team. One of the main advantages of the dedicated team model is that each team is assigned to just one client, and each specialist is assigned to just one team at a time. It means that the team members are always available for the requests, and clients can manage resources and plan work volume at their own discretion with the maximum benefit for themselves. The second one is defined budget with predictable costs. With the time and material model, each individual has to keep track of the amount of time he/she spends supporting the various projects to which he/she is assigned part-time. With the dedicated team model, management knows that every member of a given team is fully dedicated to the single project for which that team is responsible, so time tracking becomes much simpler. The third one is flexibility of workload and scope. The workload and scope are not fixed, and change requests can be made at any moment. For example, if the workload increases, more team members can be added to the initial dedicated team. The fourth is tight collaboration with QA team. The great things are born in tight collaboration between the client and the testing team. Working with the dedicated team client gets the complete control over the project due to the day-to-day communication and management using different web tools, such as Jira, Skype, Slack. The client gets a daily and weekly reports, so he can see what has been done, what's the progress, and what needs to be improved. It makes clear when there are some problems. QA teams a deep understanding of business goal. In companies that use the time and material approach, QA specialists are typically assigned to tasks that match their skill set or job description. They don't have a wide view of the projects to which they are contributing. Each task is assigned to them in isolation. For example, if need to verify new features, tester will verify only these new small parts of the product, but will not have clear understanding of the business or technical context of any of these features. This prevents the testers from A, learning about the business domain, and B, applying intelligence and creativity to suggest effective solutions to the problems people are trying to really solve with these new feature requests. And the last one is skills and knowledge exchange between both teams. As you probably know, knowledge base allows to collect all knowledge about project history, business goals, technical skills, and issues, categorize and store it. Each member knows the whole situation and can quickly react on changes. Having someone with a QA background in the team is a great plus. Now this person can share their knowledge with the rest of the team and get everyone on a high quality level. Limitations of a dedicated team model are few, but have to be taken into account during the decision making. The first one is inefficiency in short-term projects. When the project has short terms, it will be better to use another model of testing, such as fixed price model. Fixed price contracts presuppose solid understanding of requirements. The case when the project scope is documented in specification, UI design, and acceptance criteria. The next is slower start, because selection of team members can take some time and actually delay the project commencement, while during time and material model, development and testing can start within a week. The next one is less opportunities for QA team to develop outside the area. During the time team members are learning one particular aspect of the business very well, they are not learning about all the other aspects of the business. By keeping specialists on a dedicated team too long, they may start to get into a professional route. Technical professionals are by nature curious, exploratory, creative, and enthusiastic. Once they have learned most of the secrets of a given problem domain or technology stack, they want to learn something new. There are business benefits to having them become deeply familiar with the domain and a set of technical assets. But if we ask them to remain in the same role for too long, they are likely to switch to something new. The next one is customers' active role in communication and management. Client become a product owner in this model, so the final result depends on client coordination and management skills. Dedicated team approach can be divided into several stages. So at first, customer specifies the requirements to QA specialists, also shares company's internal culture and development process, shows a picture of the project and its requirements. After that, provider selects the tester whose skills and experience match the requirements. The process of candidate selection may be adapted to meet the requirements of the particular project. After that, customer may verify the competence of suggested key experts. It means that after the interview, customer can make the final decision which of the candidates will be added to the team based on their skills, professionalism, and technological expertise. Once the team is gathered together, it becomes client remote QA department. QA specialists will learn the specifics of customer business industry and will adjust the testing process to project requirements. After that, customer can focus on project only, manage all activities of the team, arrange and assign tasks to specialists. Customer has complete flexibility to control the project's progress and can receive updates through weekly reports, meetings with the key lead, or direct access to the team at any phase of the process. You may have a question. Does it take long to set up the right team? I would say that the time required for setting up a team depends on the level of customers' trust, requirements, and expectations. Usually, it takes from several days up to several weeks. We recommend to start with 2-3 specialists and gradually expand the team as the project grows. This appears to be much more effective than to set up a team of 10 specialists from the beginning. By offering the option try before you buy, the customer can become sure whether the candidate suits his requirements. It's like a test drive for QA specialists. If there are any doubts, the customer has time to form their opinion and decide whether to continue cooperation with the team or not. What about dedicated QA team in Agile environment? Testing performed by a dedicated QA team has own specific features and its procedure differs from the one conducted by other QA teams. Let's explore how independent QA team could effectively work within an Agile context, aligning its team with the Scrum team and their ways of working. Agile teams are cross-functional, and the team members are expected to own the functionalities and to design, develop, test, and deliver them. In such a scenario, the testers cannot maintain their individual identity and focus only on testing. One approach to alleviate this situation could be to bring in the testers only during the testing stage of the sprint. But this approach has many flaws, such as loss of knowledge and continuity, varying team size, and lack of commitment to the sprint goals. A more viable option would be to enable the QA team to align with Scrum practices and function as an integral team along with designers and developers. In this approach, testers would be part of the Scrum team within the chosen team size and would be retained within the team throughout the development cycle until the release of the application. Along with the skills of the team, the QA organization also provides testing tools and platform services to the Scrum team. Let's also see the dedicated QA team in Scrum-based projects. In case of Scrum-based projects, the dedicated QA team is integrated into the Scrum team and closely cooperates with developers and designers. What does it mean? It means that together with product owner, QA team work on the user story development, define acceptance criteria, and non-functional requirements. QA team prepares the estimations based on story points. In the beginning, it may be amusing to the QA team members to see how story points are arrived at, but over time, the QA members would actively participate in arriving at realistic story sizes by anticipating what test scenarios would have to be considered and how many test cases would have to be developed and executed before passing a story. Being a part of integrated team, QA experts closely work with developers and architectures in developing the test cases for test-driven development. For the model above, to work effectively, the IT organization should take several factors into account, and everyone in the Agile journey should help with them with the change. The stakeholders in the development organization shouldn't focus on the internal functional boundaries and should promote sharing and collaboration. This also means that product owner should involve key team in store elaboration and prioritization. The product owner should enable them in writing test cases, developing acceptance criteria, and validating the completed solution. Developers should engage QA team in sprint planning and implementation. They should understand the value of the QA team that would be added at the final product. QA lead should enable the flexibility to testers in their activities. They should design effective mechanisms to leverage the metrics from the Scrum teams in the QA organization's governance, reviews, and reporting. QA team members should share skills and knowledge with cross-training and commitment. Those in an IT organization adopting Agile practices, the key members could seamlessly transform into the Agile way of working by becoming an integral part of the Scrum teams. What about dedicated team for security testing? In order to ensure the proper software quality, it's better to form a separate key team for verification of a certain system aspect. For example, security testing have to be performed before each release if in the product or data stored on cloud servers. The security issues detected after the product release may drive away both customers and users. To prevent that, it's recommended to form a dedicated testing team that performs a full week of penetration testing on stable versions of soon-to-be-released products and updates. Before they begin testing, need to get the team updated about new features in upcoming releases and product environments. Being aware of security standards, dedicated key team ensures effective penetration testing, detecting system security vulnerabilities. Same with a dedicated performance team. Brief the team about new versions and features so that they can assess the performance risks. When the developers introduce a new feature that has no effect on performance, such as a button on the screen, the team only runs the regression tests. But if the team suspects that a feature might affect performance, the testing team also write and execute new performance tests. Due to its experience, the dedicated performance testing team ensures fast and effective quality assessment. Always update your security and performance teams with all relevant information and provide them with an environment as close to production as you can. With the dedicated team model, client can manage highly qualified and competent experts, equipment, resources, and infrastructure based on project requirements. Team members are experienced in different IT areas, especially in developing methodologies, processes, templates, checklists, and guidelines. The dedicated team model proved itself to be advanced cost, efficient personal management solution that balances team size and project workloads, facilitates skills exchange, and on-time project delivery. So that's all information for me. During the webinar, I noticed some questions, and we still have a couple of minutes to answer these questions. So the first question was how to define the size of the dedicated team. The size of the key team depends on a number of developers in the team because they influence on the productivity. Depends on the scope of work, on deadlines, development process. We recommend to start from 2 to 3 specialists and then expand with the project growth. The next question is, how long can dedicated team work on the project? Thank you for this question. I would say from few months until many years, depending on the development process of the project. When it comes to product development, the customer should understand that such development will be continuous throughout the life cycle of the project, regardless of the chosen development model and the terms to the first release. Further, proceeding from the needs of implementing additional and minor functions on the project, several specialists may remain in the support. if the project will re-entry. In this case, the specialists will be able to transfer knowledge and experience to newly recruited colleagues and quickly introduce them into the course. Or it's also possible that the old team can join the project again. If you do not leave someone from the old team, it can happen that within a few months they may not be specialists who are closely familiar with the project and who can quickly solve possible problems. That's all questions that I see for now. If you have any questions left, please contact us using the contact details on this slide, and we'll answer them soon. Thank you again, and have a wonderful day or evening. Bye.